gun at the officer last night, and the officer responding by pulling his own gun. The 19-year veteran sergeant was off duty, stopping for gas on his way home when the three young men approached him just before 10 last night. One had a gun drawn and demanded valuables. With his left hand, the officer fumbled in his pocket. With his right, he pulled his gun and fired at the assailant, hitting him in the head.
When you see that video, you're just stunned, and you're just incredibly happy that he was not harmed and was not hurt.
The two other suspects ran off while the officer took a defensive position near a post. Then, with the suspect, 16-year-old Deontay Mackey, still moving, looking for his gun, the officer kicks it away from reach. Star, who declined to give her last name, was getting off the bus about 50 yards away as the incident unfolded.
It was a lot going on at the time that I think what was going on, but I really didn't know there was actual robbery at the time. But I just know I heard shots, and I know I heard running. I seen running, and I seen somebody hit the ground.
The owner of the Citgo station says the suspect, Mackey, was a frequent customer. Last night's attempted robbery by three young men was the latest in a series of them over the last few months, according to neighbors. There may have been another robbery just the night before.
He said he had just got robbed by three guys that took his cell phone.
Chicago police are handling the investigation, but the sheriff says he's proud of the way the officer handled himself.
The way he responded was so amazing. It was almost out of a stop-action frame movie where he had his wits about him throughout as the gun's being put on him to be able to defend himself.
Sheriff Dart is not able to talk about the investigation. Chicago police are in charge of that investigation. At this point, they are still looking for the other two suspects who fled the scene. Live on the far south side, John Garcia, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Alan, Kathy, back to you.
All right, John. Well, we still have bitter winter cold weather here in our Chicago area. Temperatures will be back below zero in some areas tonight. This is a live picture looking out over the lakefront at North Avenue Beach and Lakeshore Drive heading north. Soon, though, things may get a little bit better. Meteorologist Jerry Taft in the Weather Center with a look at what we can expect. Jerry?
Well, it's definitely going to get a lot better as far as the thermometer. Later in the week, into the weekend, we will see temperatures in the 30s, and even next week, we could see temperatures in the 40s, which is certainly a far cry from what we have seen. We have not seen a temperature above freezing the entire month of February. Here you can see some clouds out to the west. It looks like tomorrow we will see some clouds coming in, but it will get warmer tomorrow, with temperatures tomorrow moving into the 20s. But right now it's 9 at O'Hare, 13 Midway, but notice Aurora 4 below, DeKalb 2 below, and some of those areas will drop down to 10 to 12 below zero later on tonight. It's not the 25 below that they hit last night, but it's still pretty cold out there tonight, but warmer air on the way. Kathy and Alan.
We can't wait. Thank you, Jerry. Frigid weather having a big impact on today's commute. Metro warning its riders of possible delays, and at the same time, the agency named its new chairman. Marty Oberman is new to the Metro board, but not new to politics. He was a three-term Chicago alderman, and today he promised that Metro will do better in overall performance and communication with its riders.
The trial began today for former Chicago police officer and former death row inmate Steve Mandel. Now, he's accused of a bizarre murder plot. He allegedly planned to kidnap a suburban businessman, extort his money and property, and then kill him. Eyewitness News reporter Leah Hope joining us live from the federal building with more on this trial. Leah?
Alan, jurors heard several recorded conversations that were allegedly between Steve Mandel and George Michael. Now, George Michael is the government's witness who testified today, who said that these conversations were in code about the Chicago outfit, as well as Mandel's plot to kill two men essentially motivated by financial stake in a lucrative gentleman's club. Opening statements began with a dramatic show. Assistant U.S. Attorney Amarjeet Barchu held up a meat cleaver as he laid out the alleged murder plot by Steve Mandel. Barchu says the evidence will show Mandel planned a kidnapping and murder using